Allen, and I'm here to tell you about science projects.
Science projects answer life's questions.
Science fair projects help solve real-life problems.
Alaska needs Mythbusters too. When I was a little girl, I always wondered why my ancestors wore clothing with buckskin fringes. I wondered that for years until one time I wore a leather coat in the rain. It got heavy. I thought maybe the buckskin fringes shed the water, so I did an experiment. I cut 3 pieces of leather exactly the same size. I left one as it was. On the next one I made short fringes, and on the third one I made long fringes. I soaked each one in water for exactly the same amount of time. I took them out of the water, weighed them, then I shook them exactly 50 times, and I weighed them again. Sure enough, the one with the long fringes definitely lost the most weight. So I figured, buckskin fringes look good, but they're also very practical. I repeated the experiment 10 times, and that really impressed the judges. I didn't win Best of Show, but I did get an answer to my question.
We're all concerned about changes in the climate. While many of us can't comment about gamma rays penetrating the heliosphere,
we can make important observations about the birds, animals, and fish that migrate into our area. We can measure the thickness of the ice drilled with a motorized auger or chopped with the old-fashioned way. We can measure the amount of berries from year to year, the number of local ptarmigan, the dates the whitefish leave the lakes, the quantity and sweetness of wild parsnips, the direction and numbers of caribou migrations, what bait the beaver are favoring from year to year, the health of bear populations and number of cubs, and pike, their availability or lack thereof. We can learn from the elders how to observe and compare new information with current knowledge. A great shift is taking place, and you can help document the change. There's no real way we can experiment with glaciers, but we can experiment with the reflectivity and absorption of different colors. In the spring of 2009, the dark gray volcanic ash of Mount Redoubt contributed greatly to the melting of snow on the glaciers in Lake Clark National Park. Most Alaskans have seen this phenomenon. In winter, as the airplane passes through the thermal layers, the tops of the mountains appear distorted. What causes this? You think snow is a good insulator? Wait until the outdoor temperature changes quickly. Measure the temperature above the snow line and close to the ground. How long does it take to equalize? Birds love to ride updrafts. What's the difference between a mechanical updraft and a thermal? Traditional bentwood hats amplified sound on the water. These students in Unalaska are doing an experiment. Everyone notices the change in weather. Ask the elders what they think and why. If you've never seen Horton's Who, how could you draw one? If you've never seen a good science project, how could you do one? Check out projects from previous years in your school and in the state. You can also get ideas from books. That isn't cheating.
First, think of something you're interested in. Then think of a question about your interest. Then devise a fair test that you could do to help you answer your question.
If this is your first project, you might want to try to get started with something simple. If you're interested in fishing, you could test which baits or lures work most effectively on which fish. If you're interested in snowboarding, you can test the effect of wind resistance on speed going down the hill. Which wrap best prevents freezer burn? How can you prevent a rifle or electronic equipment from frosting when brought indoors? Why do the northern whalers bring a black rock on the ice during the spring hunt? One siphon hose is twice as big as the other. Will it siphon twice as much water or fuel as the other? Be careful. The answer isn't as simple as you think.